So I went to San Francisco. I'm sorry, it's just that was kind of a big deal for me. I've never been on that coast before. Farthest I've ever actually been away from my house is a couple of trips to Florida, but no, I normally don't go that far away from my house. And I've never been on that coast. So I went to San Francisco. So Crunchyroll was nice enough to fly me down to the area because last weekend they were celebrating and they had this kind of award ceremony for the 2016 Anime Awards that they were running. More accurately known and lovingly called the Yuri on Ice Awards. No, let's talk about that for a quick second. Yuri on Ice is a good show. I've said so. I've also said the reasons that are the things that are not so great about Yuri on Ice. I made a whole video on that, which you should go and check out. But as far as its popularity within the Anime Awards, I did kind of a talk podcast type thing with Miles from Crunchyroll, and you should go listen to that as well. Even though that was done before the results came out and it was only just the nominations, I think it might be interesting listening for some people who are curious of both the mindset of one of the judges and someone who actually works at Crunchyroll, though he didn't have too much say in the actual awards themselves, but it was still nice to get some kind of somewhat insider opinion. So they flew me down to San Francisco so that we could celebrate the Anime Awards. But of course, I'm there for a couple of days. I got there like Friday morning. I was there all Saturday and I flew back Sunday. And the awards were just in the night. So I had some time to do some other things. Most of Friday, I was hanging around the Crunchyroll offices, which there will be no footage of. For reasons of the NDA variety, so I wasn't able to take anything while I was there. Sorry, and apologies. So, kind of the story. Let's go through the story. First is the setup. Thursday. So Thursday was a big day for me. Thursday was the day that I finished writing, and I filmed 3 videos. I did 3 videos of filming, 2 of which you've already seen, which is the first reactions to Interviews with Monster Girls and Tanya Evil, yeah, that one, which turned out really well. Anyway, so recorded 3 videos, and the third one you guys haven't seen yet. And I spent all day working on that. Because I had a flight at 6 o'clock in the morning, I decided to leave I had to leave my house at like 2, because the website states that you should be at the airport for an international flight 3 hours before the flight takes off. It's Friday morning, early in the morning, like I think we're at 1 a.m. or so Eastern. Low light, apologies for that. But where's the camera? There you are. Hi, camera. Maybe I should that might make it a bit easier. And I'm going to San Francisco. Should be fun times. We're gonna attempt to vlog some semblance of this trip. God knows how much I'll actually do. We'll find out. So, first thing we have to do is start the car. Engine startle! Oh, and we're here. Now I have to leave Hajime alone. All alone. For a couple of days. It'll be fine. Hajime, it'll be fine. Okay, be strong. Be strong. And now to get on the train that feels like I'm at Walt Disney World Resort. It's pretty loud in here.
Please hold on to the handrail. The train is departing from Terminal 3 at the Sheraton Gateway Hotel.
Thank you for traveling on the monorail at Walt Disney World Resort. And now, as you might be able to tell from the gray speckled wall behind me, I have safely made it all the way through security and customs, and I'm now waiting a ways off from my gate in Terminal 3 of the Toronto Pearson Airport. Look at outside. Doesn't that look beautiful? It should. It's about, what time is it now? It's about 20 minutes to 4 in the morning. They say online that for any international flight in or out of Pearson Airport that you should arrive 3 hours prior to your flight's departure so that you can safely and guarantee that you can make it all the way through security and customs so that you can catch your flight. I went from car to gate in 45 minutes. So now I have about 2 hours to wait until my first flight, which is then an hour and a half to Detroit, and then an hour in Detroit, followed by 5.5 hours to San Francisco. Have I mentioned I haven't slept yet either? No, I was working on a video, several videos actually, over the course of the evening because based on when I normally go to bed, I would have only gotten like 4 hours of sleep anyway, and the last time I tried to do that, I didn't get any sleep anyway, so I was like, no, I'll tough it out and I'll try to sleep on the Detroit flight because it's 5 hours. But, yeah, so now I have some time to kill. Well, it's pretty empty around here. This is what you get for trying to catch a red-eye flight this early in the morning, but everything was actually been pretty smooth so far. Roads on the way in had a bit of snow on them, and otherwise the car ride is uneventful. I would have recorded something on my way in, but you know, those car rides are never interesting. I don't know what I'm doing! Anyway, so I have about an hour and a half to 2 hours to kill, depending on when they actually board our flight. It says I'm supposed to be boarding just after 5, but I never believe the boarding times that are printed on the ticket. They're never right. And then it was the flight, which was interesting because as I was walking onto the flight, I actually took a photo. There was a photo of this like sign. It was like best airline or something along the lines. It was like stuck right onto the side of the plane, which I'm wondering how it would probably stay there. I'm curious as to whatever adhesive they use. That was there, and I was like, this better be a good flight then. First one wasn't bad. First I had to fly into Detroit, and that took like an hour and a half. When I say I slept during this flight, this was probably where most of it happened. I didn't sleep much. It was only an hour and a half flight, and I probably slept for maybe 45 minutes, and it wasn't very comfortable. None of these planes are very comfortable at all. So it was a quick jaunt into Detroit, by which point we arrived late. And I only had 45 minutes of a layover in Detroit as it was. So guess what that meant? Well, considering that my starting gate and my end gate were on opposite ends of the terminal, I had to home alone it all the way across. Second flight was about 4 hours and 45 minutes. I slept for maybe the first hour of it, and then the rest of it, I kind of sat on the plane in kind of pain because those seats were not comfortable. Even just sitting, those seats, those particular seats on that flight were horrible. And I just put my headphones on and then listened to my audiobook of The Name of the Wind by Patrick Rothfuss, and made it through. Arrived in the San Francisco airport a day before the protests. So, yay, no delays there. And that worked out really well. And then I had to take a trip on the BART, which I think is like Bay Area Transit Authority? Bay Area Rapid Transit, BART. It's probably what it means. Not entirely sure. Then I met up with people at Crunchyroll, and we had a good time. That I can't talk about for a lot of it. Though I can say one thing because it's already been out. Crunchyroll did have me do a video called Lightning Round, where they asked me a couple of questions without telling me what they were beforehand, and I was kind of on the spot to answer them. I wasn't happy like afterwards with a couple of my answers, but that's because like what's the first thing that come to your mind, and you just kind of have to go with it. And then we went out for burritos, and the reason we went to burritos is because people asked me, "Hey, have you ever had burritos before?" And I responded, yes, I did, because I have had burritos before. And they were like, so where did you get them from? And I was like, Chipotle. Turns out that's not a viable answer. So we went to a place on Market Street. We went to an actual Mexican place on Market Street. On Market Street, and I had a proper burrito. And I'll be honest, it was probably the best burrito I've ever had. Following day was the touristy bits, where I went out to lunch on the harbor. Got to see a bunch of the sights and walk up a shit ton of stairs. So apparently I'm gonna have fun going up these goddamn stairs. It looks great, and I just ate. This is gonna be fun. Almost kind of worried I'll drop my camera, and by camera I mean phone. Exercise. Loving the exercise.
Just imagine falling down that.
I can't imagine falling down that. It does not look pleasant. Not a bad view though. Probably a bit better from further up. Because I am a crazy, insane person. I can even, wow, that was a mistake. I can do 3 stairs. Nope. No, I cannot. I cannot do 3 steps at a time. 2 though. 2's not bad. I can do 2 steps at a time. Which was kind of pointless because by the time we made it to the top, we were going to some tower. Started with a C. It's somewhere in downtown San Francisco. Tourist attraction. Can't remember the name of it. Starts with a C. Tower. Apparently had a very good view. I wouldn't know because by the time we got there, we only had like a couple of hours till the awards ceremony. And I was like, so what are the chances we're going to get to the top of this tower to be able to see shit? And also do a couple of the other things we wanted to do around town beforehand in the awards ceremony. And then I was like, yeah, we don't have time. So we did all that walking and all that stair climbing for nothing. It's good exercise. And then I did some recording. Just me randomly vlogging on a hill. I'm walking in downtown San Francisco. Ugh. And now I'm going downhill after going uphill into a big-ass tower that's being blocked by buildings that you can't see. But today's been good. Had good food. Very good food. Down on the harbor. Took the BART in, which feels like the cheap man's version of the TTC. Never actually thought I would miss the TTC. The TTC's terrible. And then you go on some other places. And then you realize, no, maybe it has some good points about it. Like the new trains that are only 3 years old. Despite the fact that they only work on the one line that goes downtown. Publicity's not really. Possibly. Now I'm going down hills. There's some hills. Sort of. And trees and cars. I'm constantly reminded of this one level, and I think it was like Sonic Adventure 2 Battle, where he's like on a surfboard and he's going down freaking hills. Pretty sure that was supposed to be San Francisco. Not actually sure. Wouldn't be surprised. Saw Alcatraz from a distance. Alcatraz. Thank you, Eddie Izzard. Now at a 3-way hill stop. You got hill that way. No, that was sort of hills where it came from. More hills. More hills. All the hills. The hills have eyes, you know. Or so I've been told. After that, we got in an Uber and headed to Japantown, which I would have taken photos of and I would have taken video of, though every store we went into, I did find a very specific sign that said no photos, no video. But the best way that I can explain the places we went to in Japantown for people who have never been there is the closest thing I've seen in real life as like a convention dealer's room. There was anime, there were figures and magazines, there was a lot of shit. And it was awesome. And so, after that, we made our way to the venue for the Crunchyroll Anime Awards. I'm not sure of the actual name of the place off the top of my head, but it is a gaming bar, because I was told about the gaming bar beforehand and that they would have something set up, but nobody knew exactly what would be set up. So there were like a couple of consoles set up for, I think, a Naruto console game and a Dragon Ball Z console game. I think Razer came in because they were sponsoring the event and they had some PCs set up playing Overwatch. So yeah, I took some video while we were there, panning around the place with the lights on, which apparently was a rarity. I hope nobody kills me for taking that. But I got to see a lot of things with the lights on. You get a better idea for how big the space was. You got to see the Fallout kind of Republic logo up in the very top, which was really cool. I got to watch them set up the bar, which was great. And of course, they had some themed drinks for the evening, which I took a photo of and I tweeted that. Only got to try out 2, technically 3 of the drinks, because I ended up having Yuri on Ice, which was really good, actually. And I had both the Rem and Ram. Because when you order the Rem and Ram, you get both. And they were... It's kind of weird, because when I talked to people about how well they were, a lot of people liked the Ram more than Rem. I was the other way around, because when I had... Like, we'll put on the video screen what's actually in them, so anybody that's alcohol inclined can kind of guess maybe where I'm talking about with this. But when I had the Ram, it felt like I was drinking rubbing alcohol, or at least that's what it smelt like. But I enjoyed the Ram a lot more. Then that has nothing to do with my bias that she's best girl for last year. Nothing whatsoever. The ceremony itself was actually really, really nice. I don't normally go to bars, so I was kind of worried that I'd be able to fit in. They got video from a lot of people who weren't able to make it, So like industry people from ANN, other YouTubers, and things like that. They were all there, and they had that video playing for a little bit. And that was really cool, and they had those people answer, what was your favorite anime of the year? Nobody said Konosuba. So when I was actually interviewed for the live stream later, the question came up, what was your favorite anime? And I was like, Konosuba. Yep. Didn't even get nominated, which is weird, because Joker Game got nominated. Not that Joker Game wasn't a good nominee. I thought Joker Game was really good. Based on everything else that was kind of nominated, Joker Game must have had at least 2 people, or at least two judges nominated, and I was probably the only person to nominate Konosuba. That was depressing. They also had t-shirts, actually, at the event, which was really cool, because it was free if you showed up to the event. So I had a good time with that. They were like, hey, you want a free t-shirt? And I was like, sure. So they had a couple of designs. I picked the hero one, mostly because it was like an assortment, hero, villain, and a fourth. I can't remember what the fourth one was. But the hero one I was okay with, especially since Deku won. He wasn't my nominee. I didn't even nominate Deku. I nominated All Might from My Hero Academia, but I didn't mind Deku winning. I actually thought Deku was a really good choice. So that worked out fine. And I had that, and I tweeted that out. There's a photo somewhere. I'm sure it'll go on the screen. Got to bed at 4 o'clock in the morning, which, by my time, because I was living in Eastern time the entire trip, even though I was in Pacific. And so basically I went to bed at 7 o'clock in the morning, by the by. And then the following day, I immediately got up, and I got up at like 9, caught an Uber to the airport. Flight back was mostly uneventful, although there was one thing that happened during the flight down that I did not mention, that I'm going to bring up now. So the in-flight, on both flights on the way down, had an in-flight entertainment. So there was a screen on the chair in front of you, which I think is a horrible idea, because anybody goes tap, 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 and of course you feel it on your chest. It's annoying as crap. So they had those, and I didn't find out until about 20 minutes before I landed in San Francisco that one of the options on the in-flight entertainment was Your Name. I was not pleased about this, because I have had no legal way to watch Your Name, and I didn't bother checking the in-flight entertainment because I've never seen anime on that. So yeah, I could have checked, but I just didn't, and I was like, screw it, I'm just gonna listen to my audiobook. And now I'm annoyed, because on the flight back, I was like, look, I have 2 flights. Both of them are a decent length. One of them has Your Name, I'll be fine. Both flights didn't have a TV. One of them did have Wi-Fi, that I could have used my phone and then used the in-flight entertainment through some app that they had, but Wi-Fi was expensive. It was like $20 some odd for the flight. And I was like, hell no. Internet for like an hour so that I could watch this movie that you may not even have available through your app would be more expensive than the amount of money I pay for internet here at my house for an entire month. No thank you. And then I got stuck in Minneapolis because you may have heard that Delta has been having some problems over the course of the weekend due to the protests and the White House executive order and a bunch of other things, which led to their systems going and crashing, which led to a delay on my end. Let me put it this way. By the time I finally left Minneapolis, I should have already been in my car halfway home. So I didn't get home till late. So we didn't take off from Minneapolis until really late. Got in my car, went home. Oh, that was just rough, but I made it now, and it was a freaking amazing time. I had never been to that coast before, and honestly, I don't mean to diss the west coast of the States, though it's probably going to come off that way, for which I apologize. When I was in San Francisco, everything just was nicer. What's the best way to explain it? It's not like like everything seemed nicer, like everything was more upkept and well, but like just kind of the general atmosphere, the populace, and basically everybody I met was a lot more upbeat, a lot more happy and friendly than almost anything I'd seen on the West Coast in the US, barring maybe Disneyland, because Disney World in Florida, because happiest place on earth. But yeah, no, because like when I've been to Boston, when I've been to Detroit, to Chicago, to all these places, I always very distinctly felt that, yeah, you're not in Canada right now. It didn't have like that semi-welcoming atmosphere. Like a lot of people were very, very nice. Because that's kind of the distinction I want to make. People are nice, but like the atmosphere of the area felt wrong and felt different, which I always attributed to the fact that, yeah, I'm just not in my country. That's just how it is. My my debit card doesn't work, my phone barely works. It's just because I'm not in the country, it's not home, so that's what I'm feeling. But I never got that kind of problem when I was in San Francisco. Could have been that I was just too tired to notice. I might have just been too exhausted, but it was a really nice place. Really expensive. Other than that, it was a fine place to visit, and I hope that I get to go down some other time soon. And we'll see where the future takes us. So I hope you guys have enjoyed my little ramble and a bit of story time for my trip down to San Francisco. I'll be sure to make more on any other locales I end up visiting, which will probably all be involved with a convention. This is one travel log that doesn't involve a convention, so it's kind of weird. Although Japantown kind of felt like a convention, so I'll give it that much. But yeah, so until next time, ladies, gentlemen, and others, stay frosty.